G'day, Steve from offthegridinoz.com again. Just thought I'd make a video regarding so many questions get asked of people off grid. How hard is it? What effort does it take? I thought I'd make a quick video. We've got a lot of written material on this on the website offthegridinoz.com, but a video speaks probably, what they say, a picture's worth 1,000 words and all of that. Effort. Well, this morning I had to deal with an ant's nest that was about the size of the MCG. Little things that amuse you for an hour in the morning, but basically effort. Effort is a big question. It depends on what you want to do. We see a lot of people who think or seem to think that off the grid is just about disconnecting from the power. Well, I mean, pretty much a monkey can disconnect from the power if you want to cut a check. Off the grid to us is a little bit different to that. Off the grid is disconnecting from everything, trying to be less reliant on everything outside the gate. I have this saying, I don't like what is outside the gate, and the gate is the property gate. What we do on the property is we try to fend for ourselves as much as possible. Now, mark my words, I'm not taking this lightly. I'm a licensed plumber. I'm 60 years of age and I still work, so we're still connected to the system as such. Now, as far as effort, well, we got this property up and going only 6 months ago now, just under 6 months ago. We sold our last one and had to start from scratch. That picture at the moment is the outdoor kitchen. That was one of the first things to go up because that is where we spend most of our time. One thing people don't necessarily focus on when they're thinking about off-grid is, what are you going to do with your time? Well, we spend most of our time outside. Now, panning around, none of this was up 6 months ago. This is to do with the effort involved. You may want to live in a tin shed, under a sheet of iron, one 12-volt solar panel, whatever. I mean, that's all very fine. That's okay. No one's, anyone hangs shit on you for going at that level, going off grid at that level. Well, you just tell them to go pull their bloody heads in. For us, we've been at this for 7 years. We gathered a few resources. We certainly weren't rich. Absolutely everything you see here, the house that's over there, and I don't know whether I'm getting sun shadows. We're having a lovely 40-degree day in central Victoria. Just for people who may wonder where we are, 40 friggin' degrees, a nice breeze running, humidity about 18,000%. Things like the woodshed had to be built. We got kicked out of the old place with a 60-day settlement, so we had to build this. Now, I've taken pictures of this on the website, but this is a little self-contained flat. It's about 4 metres by 7 metres, and it's got a little deck on the front, which is quite cute to sit on. And we put a bathroom toilet, compost toilet addition onto it. It's got TV, it's got its own standalone 12-volt lighting. It's connected to the 240 volt off the main solar system. It has its own water tank around the side. This is what we slammed up in a few weeks. We literally had to work 12 hours a day for 3 weeks to slam this up because we had to get out of the other property. So yeah, this little flat probably to some people would suffice. And yes, we had it suggested to us that we just live in this. And I thought, well, yeah, we could do that, but we had plans for many years to build another property. And walking down between the tank, we don't buy small tanks. Whoa, that's a big tank. Yeah, they're all 23,000 litre, the stocky standard sort of a tank. Dog bucket. But yeah, people constantly seem to think that you either have to have $1 million, which we haven't, or you make the effort. You make the effort to learn the processes that are involved. You learn what needs to be done as you go or before you do it. Another tank, that's our irrigation tank, 23,000, 24,000 just for irrigation. It comes off the shed. Now the shed, it's massive. It's 4 or 5 metres wide and it's about 15 metres long. That's got a big storeroom section, a little bit of recycled material in it. Not much, just a few windows. But yes, it's quite massive. That had to go up straight away to give us a workshop to put all the tools in. if you're going to enter into a large building project, you need to have tools and you need to have somewhere to work. So yes, the shed went up, and guess what went on top of it? The solar panels went on top of it. 3 kilowatt up there. Also, solar. You can blow 50 grand, you can blow 30 grand, you can blow 20 grand, you can blow 5 grand. I chose this time around after us having lived with 640 watts. I kid you not, 640 watts for what, 7 years, 6 years. I chose to put a larger solar system in, and I learned how to do it myself. Not rocket science, took some time, had to get some advice, but that's what I did. So we wound up with a system that's 3 kilowatt, 1000 amp hour batteries, and for that we only spent $8,000. Now that's a lot of money. If you haven't got 8 grand, sure, I'm not here to wave my flag and shove it up people's nose, but 8 grand is my work trailer, so I'm actually a working tradie. For 8 grand, it was well worth the trouble. The house, now the house seems very simple and it's not finished yet. The basic concept was to use a building material that was cheap, low cost, efficient, environmentally sensitive to some degree, meaning it didn't chew up thousands and thousands of dollars worth of timber. It's made out of EPS panels. They're sheet metal or colorbond lined, both sides. We fitted our own old windows to it. It's large, it's about 12 squares, probably a bit bigger than what we need. And my wishing well, as I walk through, that this wishing well was one of the things that was here. This was built about 4 years ago and pretty much has been just put on the back burner. Now the house, like I said, I didn't know how to deal with EPS. If you can use a snips, pop riveter and a saber saw and a jigsaw, you can build an EPS house very quickly. The beauty of this was it only took about 8 weeks to put up, and we were pretty much inside of it once I connected the utilities to it. So yeah, the effort involved, the effort is going to be relative, but in 6 months we've had to do that. We had to do the kitchen, which we demanded by our own need. We need an outdoor kitchen, and we had to do the little flat that I just showed you, the woodshed and the garage. Moving around back into the kitchen, you can see the bridge down there. That's been up for 4 years, so I've got pictures up about that if you want to ever go to the website and have a look. That we built about 4 years ago, just in preparation for this. Outdoor kitchen, very important. Don't worry about the still. We have 240 power for the fridge. We have wood combustion alternative heating and cooking. We have a pressure cooker under there that will run. It's a low voltage or low consumption pressure cooker, will run off the 240. Have the obligatory barbecue, which is LPG fired. And we even lashed out and bought a relatively low cost pizza oven. And of course, in the other outdoor kitchen I had on the last property, I did not have hot and cold running water. Well, I am a plumber, so guess what? We put hot and cold running water in. So the outdoor kitchen was very important, but it consumed probably, just to build it, I kid you not, 4 or 5 weeks of absolute murderous long days. We even put the TV in. It's got internet on it. We're on full Wi-Fi internet here from our main NBN connection. One of our only luxuries. We don't watch TV. We haven't watched TV for 2 years or 3 years, a long time now. We only use the internet. We research everything. So yeah, the outdoor kitchen was very important. Shed was very important because we had to move quickly. The little house I showed you first off, was very important, only because we had nowhere to live. And we even get around to the side here, and I'm still in the process, and excuse the tools, but we even just added a veranda. Now this veranda doesn't look very large. It's about 9 meters by about 3.5, 4 meters. It's got a lovely insulated roof, EPS panels again, not finished. Garden bed down there will take the grey water. That'll be subsurface grey water distribution to soak into the garden, which will be full of non-edibles, just for purely getting rid of the grey water. And once I move my tools, things will be a lot more pleasant here. But yes, the house is EPS. That door there, that window is made out of a shower screen. The bay window around the side, also innovation is the name of the game if you don't want to cut big checks. That's made of a shower screen panel on the front, a couple of little louver windows that I manufactured myself. I don't mean I made the mechanisms, I had to make them up to fit, and EPS around the sides. The whole thing very cheap but time consuming. Again, back to effort. How much effort do you put in? We put a lot of effort in. 6 months, it has been a cracker. We're just, at the moment, we have lots of loose ends. Not that you would have noticed looking around with all the gear and stuff everywhere, but we have lots of loose ends. I like aesthetics, so I do dumb things like put a rail up over the garden bed, split the garden bed into two, and to shade the western side of the house and the garden. So yeah, effort. Effort can start with a tin shed. No one's going to do anything to you, but I think what you need to do is you need to think about how much effort you're prepared to put in. If you think this is just some dream that will miraculously occur, or you are absolutely sure that you're going to be happy with just the minimal, that's fine. Go into it expecting that. But if you have grandiose ideas about not having to lift a finger to any degree, you just might as well stay in the burbs. Most purists, and I'm not a purist, but most purist off the grid gridders tend to think of the whole picture as a whole picture, not just disconnected from the power. It is to do with learning the trades, learning the skills, from the kitchen to the digging of the hole. You need to learn the skills. If you're not prepared to do that, the amount of work I just showed you in 6 months would probably kill the average young guy. Now, I'm just fortunate enough to have a few tradie skills, so it probably wasn't as much of an effort for me. But if you're I'm not being nasty, but if you're a city slicker and you've had very little skill to do with building, think very carefully and very hard, or bring a very large checkbook with you. We hear too many stories of, oh, what does solar cost? Am I so fucking sick of answering that question, excuse the language. Solar can cost you 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand. Depends on the check you want to cut.